over here. Can I hear from you, Dr. Anantalakshmi, madam? Do you have any doubts or any clarifications where I can put your doubts to rest?
Thank you so much for your welcome address. I'm pleased to be a member in your team because
Thank you.
We are closely associated with Don Bosco for the past 4 or 5 years. So it's a pleasure for me to be a part of the team.
It's a pleasure for us also to have you on the panel as well, madam. Thank you. Congratulations. All the best. Dr. Biji Lakshmi, can I hear from you? Are you there, Dr. Biji Lakshmi? Can I hear from you? Mrs. Elizabeth Johnson? Mrs. Elizabeth Johnson, can I hear you again?
Good afternoon, Professor.
Good afternoon, madam. How are you? It's been a long time. How are you?
I'm doing fine, Professor. Thank you so much.
Last time you really rocked the show. We believe this time you will rock the show again.
Oh, sure. Thank you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to talk to you as well. It's a pleasure to talk to you as well. And as I mentioned earlier, there will be a question to a HR professional, and then there will be a question to the educationalist as well. It would be in the alternative form. And we will ask you a minimum of two questions. If time provides, we move into the third question as well. And we also have a question round for the audience to come forward to pose their questions. And that question can be to a panelist, or it can be to a common where anyone in the panel can pitch in and answer the question as well.
Sure,
yeah, welcome back again. I'm so happy and glad to moderate this show with you. And it's wonderful to have a great HR professional like you on the other hand to share your expertise for the benefit of the audience as well. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you.
Professor Balachandar. Good afternoon, Professor. Good afternoon, Professor. It's a pleasure to have you onto this panel as well. And I'm so happy and glad that you're a part of this panel, and your expertise ultimately and your years of experience would really be very much beneficial to the students and to the audience, and as well as to the panelists, as well as to me as well. We welcome you. And if you have any doubts or clarifications, Mr. Balachandar, you can ask me so that I can put your doubts to rest. Am I audible, Mr. Balachandar? Can I hear from you? I'm not able to hear your voice, Mr. Balachandar. Dr. Anantalakshmi, are you able to hear Professor Balachandar?
No, it's not audible.
Not audible. Professor Balachandar, unmute your mic. Your video is quite clear, but I think your voice is not so clear enough. Good afternoon, Professor Gopalakrishnan. It's a pleasure to have you again. I think the audience would be really happy to see you. You look very smart as well on the other side. I think you're talking from your office. That's what
exactly.
Exactly. Okay, good.
Good afternoon, sir.
Gopalakrishnan, there are 3 questions ultimately, where a minimum of 2 questions would be asked to you. And the third question would be asked according to the time frame and how time permits as well. And sure. I've also went through the WhatsApp and the suggestions which you have made. It is well noted, and those suggestions will be taken into consideration as well. And you can somewhere flow in your answer with approximately 30 seconds to 2.5 minutes. So you can speak according to the pulse, and I believe the students would be very happy to really have you on the panel as well. We are so happy and glad to have you on the panel. On the other side, we have Dr. Anantalakshmi, who's the controller of examinations of Queen Mary's College on the other side. And we have Professor Balachandar, who's the head of the Department of Commerce and Placement as well, from Mar Gregory's College as well. And we also have Mrs. Elizabeth Johnson, a senior HR professional, and Dr. Gopalakrishnan is the principal of Rangasamy College of Technology, Tiruchenkodu. You can share a few words and get introduced to the rest of the panelists, Professor Gopalakrishnan.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir, and good afternoon, all fellow panelists. Hope all of you doing good and staying safe, because that is one word now we have to use it often. So again, I have to thank Mr. Mark and other to Don Bosco Valigatti for giving this wonderful opportunity. So probably I also know that other panelists also will be coming out with a lot of inputs. So this would be a kind of a great opportunity for us to interact each other and to understand what is the best practices followed in each and every institution. That is how I look into this forum. No, let me have also takeaways. So let us everybody have takeaways from each and every one of us and from industry people. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Gopalakrishnan. Can I have Mrs. Elizabeth Johnson introducing yourself to the rest of the panelists as well, and sharing a few words so that you get introduced to the others.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Elizabeth Johnson. I'm Director HR in an IT company. We are a product company, and my company is Economic Systems Private Limited. We are based out of US, and we have branches all over India. So basically, I handle the HR department, which includes the hiring and the operations, end-to-end operations, and the hiring part of it. That's
Thank you, Madam. Professor Balachandar, can I hear from you, Professor Balachandar? Professor Balachandar, are you there? Can you hear me? Professor, you're not audible.
Let him try with the system mic, sir, so that it would be good actually. I think he's using a headphone, probably.
Can you try with your system mic, Professor Balachandar? Okay, we move on to take your time. Dr. Biji Lakshmi, it's a pleasure to have you into the panel as well. Good afternoon. I'm Professor Herman, moderating the show for this evening. And I'm so happy and glad that you are part of this panel. And you are one of the important panelists. You are an associate professor and the head of the UG Department of Computer Science and the PG Department of Information and Technology, as well as the placement officer of Bhaktwatsalam Memorial College. Is my pronunciation correct? Bhaktwatsalam or
yes.
Salam? Bhaktwatsalam College for Women. Congratulations, madam. You will be posed 2 questions. And one question would be from the HR, and next question would go to the educationalist as well. You come in the educationalist panel, and we have 2 questions, a minimum for you. And the third question would be posed according to the convenience of time. And if time permits, we move into the third question. Can you introduce yourself to the rest of the judges? You can just say hi to all the other panelists. We have Dr. Ananta Lakshmi, we have Professor Gopalakrishnan, we have Mrs. Elizabeth Johnson, and we also do have Professor Balachandar on the other side.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir, and good afternoon to all here. I'm extremely happy to participate in this forum, and I'm indeed honored to participate in this. And I wish to express my thanks to the Don Bosco Valigatti team for selecting me to be one of the panelists in this session. I thank everyone. Of course, Professor Balachandar, I know him personally because I worked in Matriculous College earlier. And maybe I'll get to know all others also during this session. Anyway, I'm happy to participate in this session, sir. And I will answer to all the questions to my best. And I think this session would be very much helpful for all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sir. Thank you.
Your experience and your expertise is always a blessing, and we believe that would be beneficial to the audience as well. We have Mr. Sarat Chandar, who has also joined us now. Mr. Sarat Chandar is the General Manager of Human Resources, Wagon Technologies, Chennai. Good afternoon, Mr. Sarat Chandar. We welcome you to the panel. We are so happy and glad that you are a part of the panel as well. Could you just say hi to the rest of the panelists and get introduced and say hi and feel yourself quite comfortable as well?
Good
Yeah.
afternoon, Sarath.
Good afternoon, Gopal. Good to see you. And thank you for the intro, Mr. Hermon. And thank you all for all the panelists. And I'm here. I'm glad to be a part of this panelist and looking for a great insights. It's a learning curve than a sharing curve.
Thank you. Thank you. We have also Mr. Kishore, the head of the resource management and consulting Innoval Digital Solutions Private Limited from Trivandrum. Sir, welcome, sir. Good afternoon and welcome, sir, all the way from Trivandrum. And we are so happy that you are from Kerala. I believe the pandemic in Kerala is also struck very high, and Tamil Nadu and Kerala are really moving in the same pace when it comes to the pandemic situation as well. We are so happy to invite you to the panel, and we believe that your expertise will really be a true beneficiary to all the audience around. We would be happy if you can say hi and just introduce yourself to the rest of the panelists who are also in the panel now.
Hi. Good evening, everybody, and it was a good interaction. Thanks, Dr. Herman, and
Thank you.
glad to be part of this event and looking forward to it. As you said, mentioned, like we are currently going through a pandemic scenario. The situation is very tight here. Definitely, at least in this pandemic stage, we have something to discuss which will be beneficial for our future, maybe our students and our teaching community. So definitely looking forward to it, and have a nice day to all of you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Gopalakrishnan. So I'll make it a little bit more smooth and clear how things will proceed. We have approximately minimum 2 questions to each of the panelists. And the third question would be posed according to the time. And if time permits, we move into the third question. And while one HR professional, there will be a question to the HR professional, and it would be followed on to an educationalist. And in case if the HR professional is answering a question and someone wants to pitch in or add in something, you are most welcome to add a point onto what the other panelists are speaking about. But, yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, Professor Balachandar.
Yes, sir.
We heard so many people, but to hear your voice after a long time, it stands as a great blessing. It's like a miracle for us. Thank you, Mr. Balachandar. Could you just introduce yourself and feel comfortable with the rest of the panelists?
This is Balachandar. I'm working as a head of Department of Commerce as well as placement officer. I express heartfelt thanks to our father, Andrew father, as well as the Don Bosco Varigati for the wonderful chance. Actually, this is the platform you have provided for the students' upliftment as well as finding the placements. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Professor Balachandar. Thank you so much. Professor Balachandar is the head of the Department of San Gregory's College, if I'm not mentioned, if I'm right. Yes, Mar Gregory's College. So we are so happy and glad. I think in case if you have any doubts, you can ask me so that I can clear your doubts. And other than that, everyone has the freedom to pitch in to express your idea. But the only thing is try to restrict your answers from approximately 30 seconds to 2.5 minutes. Don't think about 2.5 minutes. Normally when experienced people like you start talking, it goes beyond the 2.5 minutes. The problem with us is not the lesser the time. The problem with us is in case if you go beyond the time, then we have to literally moderate it in such a way that time is also balanced in the right form. Thank you so much. I think it's going to be an amazing session as well. And the questions would be very, very clear and straightforward. And I'm very happy and glad that the audience would be participating well, actively listening. And at the end, we have a question round from the participants as well. Sometimes the participants can pose a question directly to the panelists, or they can throw a question which is to the general forum, to open to the forum, where any panelist can pitch in and pour out their answers or respond back to the question. And in case if any panelist would like to add anything to what another panelist is trying to respond, you're most welcome to do it as well. You have the first priority on the show because we have invited you because you are experienced people. You have a wide range of experience and your expertise is going to be useful to this audience. And so you are the kingmakers of this particular show. So we wish you all the best. And I'm so happy and glad to meet wonderful professionals from the human resources as well as from the educational department as well. Thank you so much, Mark. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Over to the MC to continue with the rest of the program. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Dear Excellencies, distinguished chief guests, HR heads from prominent industries, college heads, faculties and placement officers from various colleges, youth of our campuses, dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant evening to all of you.
Good afternoon, sir. Good evening to all of you. Good evening, sir.
We request, excuse me, we request the admin to put the MC on spotlight and mute the rest of the participants.
Sure.
The admin kindly listen, put the MC into spotlight and mute the rest of the participants. The MC is muted. Kindly, can you release the MC?
Yes, sir. I'm unmuted. Precious youth of our campuses, dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant evening to all of you. I am Arun Raj representing Don Bosco Valikati, and I consider it a true pleasure to welcome you all for this mega event, Don Bosco Valikati Maestro Campus to Corporate Conclave 2021. Let me first brief out the agenda for the day's event. We shall begin this conclave with the words of welcome proposed by Mr. Jayasilan, training faculty from Don Bosco Valikati, followed by the introduction of the keynote speaker, Mr. Mark Anthony Sequeira, the CEO of Maestro Human Resources Private Limited, by Mr. Princeton, training faculty from Don Bosco Valikati. Then we move on to introduce the panelists of the day's event, comprising the moderator, HR heads and college heads, by Ms. Jennifer, training faculty from Don Bosco Valikati, followed by the introduction of the day's topic, that is developing employability skills in students, role of institutions in matching HR expectations, moderated by Professor Herman Cardis from St. Joseph's College, Trichy. Then we move on to the panel discussion, followed by the Q&A session with the audience. And finally, we end up this conclave, the vote of thanks proposed by Jennifer Chris, training faculty from Don Bosco Valikati. Small cheer and great welcome makes a merry feast. Here comes Jayasilan, training faculty from Don Bosco Valikati, to welcome the gathering.
Happy evening to all. On this auspicious day, on behalf of Reverend Father Andrew Stephen Roch, STB, Director, Don Bosco Valikati, I, Jayasilan, solemnly welcome you all for the Campus to Corporate Conclave, April 2021, for a virtual panel discussion initiated by Don Bosco Valikati, Maestro, Leaders' Choice Soft Skill Training, and Don Bosco Job Placement Network. At this juncture, let us thank God for bringing all of us together for a greater purpose. It's my honor to welcome Mr. Mark Anthony Sequeira, CEO, Maestro Human Resources Private Limited. Welcome, sir. I take this opportunity to welcome Mr. Herman Cardis, Assistant Professor, St. Joseph's College, Autonomous Trichy, as the moderator of the panel discussion. Welcome, sir. I'm very much privileged to welcome HR heads, Mrs. Elizabeth Johnson, Mr. P. Saravanakumar, Mr. Sarath Chandar, Mr. G. Kishore, and college heads, Dr. R. Gopalakrishnan, Dr. Anand Lakshmi, Professor Balachandar, Dr. Bijay Lakshman, as panelists for this event. Welcome, sirs and ma'ams. I also welcome D. Kalaivani, Principal, BMC College, Dr. Yeshwari Mani, Associate Secretary, BMC College, Dr. Gopi, Vice Principal, JHA Augustine College, Mrs. Subita Ronnie, Assistant Professor, Annai Belagani College, Mr. Babu, Placement in Charge, Augustine College. I wholeheartedly welcome HR professionals, students, DBB team, and all the participants for this great event. Wishing you all a fruitful and informative experience on this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for the words of cordiality. What one does has got far greater impact than what one says. With immense glee and delight, may I now invite Mr. Princeton, training faculty from Don Bosco Valigati, to introduce the keynote speaker.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's my pleasure to introduce Mr. Mark Anthony Sequeira. He's an educator, author, speaker, advisor, corporate trainer, Zen mentor, and executive coach. He hails from Kerala. He has secured masters in MBA, MPhil, LLB, BCA certified Cambridge University. As a principal consultant and CEO of Master Human Resource Private Limited, Mr. Sequeira has emerged as a leading international sought-after management mentor and advisor over the past 20 years. He has widely impacted and significantly improved the lives and careers of more than 25,000 leaders, entrepreneurs, educators, managers, sales HRs, and software professionals across the world globally. He is also a great influence in bridging the skill gap between eligibility and employability for the students community, having widely spoken and monitored on his co-authored books on personal skill, social skill, employability skill, prescriptions, and prescribed by the Management, Engineering and Arts College in India. He is an alumni of Liba Institute in Chennai. He is a founder, treasurer, and joint secretary of Calcutta Management associated with All Indian Management Associate in mid 2000. Preceding Mr. Mark Anthony Sequeira, the CEO, Maestro Human Resource Private Limited, to deliver the presidential address. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Princeton, for the introduction. And I thank Don Bosco Varikati, Leaders Choice Art Gallery, and Maestro Human Resources Private Limited for this opportunity. I hope I'm audible. If you can hear me, just give me a thumbs up.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I've been given 15-20 minutes, so I think I still have 15 minutes of my time left. So welcome to this conclave, this campus to corporate conclave, as it has been termed, and I think it's the need of the hour. Before I get into my short discourse, I would like to tell the audience that I think this is a spectacular team that has been that is on display today. You have some of the finest HR leaders in industry, especially in South India. Some of them are, stalwarts in their respective field, and I'm sure there will be a lot of value addition and a lot of learning, a tremendous learning experience for the audience, especially the students who are participating in this conclave today. You also have some of the finest educators in Tamil Nadu and Kerala. And it's a proud privilege to see such a wonderful cast of HRs as well as educators on one platform. And hats off to Don Bosco Varikati for bringing them all together. And never the least, you have one of the finest moderators this country has at present in Professor Herman Kadus, who is also a Guinness World Record holder. And I'm sure he is going to bring in a lot of power in his communication, a lot of ability, a lot of energy will be transmitted through him and the panelists in making this event something that would help you understand the importance of employability and how crucial it is in developing your careers. I'll get into my discourse at the earliest I'll try to share a screen so that all of you do have a little bit of a visual impact as well, apart from the auditory impact that you are about to experience. So give me just half a minute, and I'll try to share my screen so that you would have a better idea of what I'm going to speak over the next 12 to 13 minutes.
So I made you a host so you can share your screen.
Yeah, thank you so much, Nirmal. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, friends and colleagues, I call this a journey from eligibility to employability. Let's understand these two words. Let's understand these two words. What exactly is eligibility and what is its impact on employability? Let me give you a very startling piece of information that you need to understand among the freshers of our country today. It is said that a mere 17% of boys and 14% of girls are actually employable in our country today. I'm not talking in terms of their education. I'm not talking in terms of their qualification. I'm talking purely in terms of their employability skills. It is just 17% of boys and 14% of girls who are actually employable out of campuses in our country today, which is a startling piece of information that we all need to know. What is the reason for this gap? Where are the, what are the pain areas and where exactly are we having a kind of an issue in bridging this gap between eligibility and employability? By virtue of studying in a good college or a good school and then passing out of the college, a person is eligible for a job. That is your eligibility. Eligibility basically means you have completed your formal education, you are qualified, you are eligible for a job. But eligibility by itself doesn't take you it only takes you to the doorstep. It doesn't get you the job. In order to get the job, you need to have employability skills. And employability skills are something that is critically in question today. And I'm sure at some point of stage, at some point in this panel discussion, which is about to follow my discourse, this point will be touched upon. Why is it that there's a lot of what should I say?
Sir, excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Yes. Sir, can you make me as a co-host? The scribblings nariya irukku sir, erase pandradhukku I want a permission.
Apdiya, just hold on, Nirmal. Just hold on.
So more option la click panningina you can find that.
Sure. Let me just do that.
Yes. So participants, please don't touch the screen of your phone or laptop.
I think that happens all the time, isn't it?
Yeah, I can clear it from your screen.
Yeah, I understand.
So participant list la first name ungaldu irukum, adha more click pannina you can change the host permissions.
I'm trying that number. Participant list la where are you, Nirmal? One second. Nirmal, are you?
Yes, sir. Don Bosco Varigatti.
Okay, got it. Make host. I made you the host.
Yes, sir. Thank you. You can continue. Sorry for this.
Yep. Thank you so much. Is my screen visible, or should I have to do something?
The screen is visible, but there is an error page.
Yeah, I think once we switched over from.
Okay, you can find. Okay.
One second. Just hold on. Nirmal, now it says that only the meeting host can start a screen share. So you'll have to once again make me the co-host. Nirmal? Nirmal, are you there?
Yes, sir, I'm doing it. Check, sir.
Or shall I probably send this to you? Then you can probably do the screen share without any issues. Okay, I think I'll host this event until my discourse is over, and then probably I'll make the co-host once again. In the meantime, request everybody not to touch the screens.
Sir, now you can host, sir. You can continue.
All right. So once again, getting back into screen share, to bear with me. So what exactly is employability? To make it very simple, the UK Commission for Employment and Skills has said that the skills almost everyone needs to do almost any job. Let's split it up over here. The skills almost anyone needs. Everyone needs these skills. You want to find a job, you want to make a career, you want to be an entrepreneur, you want to start a business, you want to do social service, you still need to have those skills, which would help you influence and get the best out of yourself as well as people. So the skills almost everyone needs to do almost any job. Please understand, today is the time where people have to think of multitasking and multi-skilling more than anything else. You just can't be a one-role wonder. You've got to be good at all things. So if you are a student who was listening to this program, here are the top skills, or the most important or the most relevant employability skills of our times, which I would like to share with you. These are the top skills that you need to develop. If you have all 5 of them, great. If you don't, it's a good platform for you to start developing them. First and foremost, a positive mental attitude with selfless, team-centric behavior. There's no point in you probably being excellent in other parameters if you don't have the right attitude, because I'm sure at some stage you will understand that attitude determines your altitude, and that takes you up in your careers. So having a positive mental attitude and a selfless, team-centric behavior is going to win you a lot of friends. And ultimately, let me probably quote one of the great business leaders of our times, Mr. Henry Ford, who said, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. And a team-centric attitude, a team-centric behavior is something that is going to take you to the top of your career at some point of time. The next thing that you need to have is the ability to communicate confidently along with good social skills. I remember once Bishop Joseph Kalate, who way back in 1995 made a statement saying that if your communications are not convincing, request the others to kindly put your devices on mute. Okay. If your communication skills are not convincing, you have lost half the battle. So it's very important to understand that your communication, especially your verbal communication and your body language, tells a lot about your personality to others. So it's important. Your confidence can be measured in your communication. So it's very important for you to develop the right communication skills along with good social skills. The third thing that you will need to understand is leadership and management skills. And not just any kind of leadership. Leadership is not something to be confused with power. Leadership is about inspiration. It's how you inspire people to be better than what they are. You are a leader, and the purpose of leadership is to build leadership in others. So start developing the leadership skills, especially those leadership skills which would help you to inspire humanity to be better than what they are, and good management skills to go along with it. The fourth thing, and never the least, you have to have strong technical abilities, or IT skills as you call it nowadays, along with innovation and creativity. You've got to start thinking and behaving and acting out of the box. The out of the box thinking is what people are looking for today. and you need to develop the technical prowess in order to stay ahead of your competition. And finally, the world is going through transition. The world is going through change. And now the coronavirus is back in its second avatar. No issues. We're going to overcome this like how we overcame the first one. For that, you need to have the attitude of adaptability and the ability to cope with change. If you can cope with change, understand your chances of making it big in life is great. I always admire the Japanese for their principles. I remember I was part of a delegation in 2010, and one of the Japanese ambassadors made a statement. He said to the Indian delegation, he said, don't adopt Japanese principles without first adapting to yourself to Japanese principles. And the Japanese always believe that change is a good thing, and they call it Kaizen. Kai is change, and Zen is good. So the Kaizen principle of management says that change is good. Embrace it, adapt to it, find your way through it. It's like swimming in deep water. It is like riding your vehicle or driving your car through town. You cannot go in a straight line. You have got to know how to maneuver your way through. And finally, my dear friends, let me give you a small mathematical formula with a slight twist to it. I know it's a twist, but it's not the actual formula that you have in mathematics. But for you to remember today, remember the formula for success according to us is 2AB. You develop 2AB, your chances of success are going to be very high. Your chances of employability are going to be very high. 2AB stands for attitude, aptitude, and behavior. Remember, if you add up the letters, the alphabets of attitude, ATTITUDE, and you give it a number, like for example, A is 1, and E is 4, 5, and D is 4, and you give every other alphabet a number, you're going to get 100. Very few words in the English language would add up to 100, and attitude is one of them. Remember this. Your attitude is going to take you places. Your aptitude is going to probably propel you to professional success, and your behavior is going to keep you there. So your attitude is going to take you places, your aptitude is going to propel you faster, and your behavior is going to keep you there. So if you remember this formula of success, the 2AB formula of success, I'm sure you're going to have a glorious career. With these words, I would like to thank everyone for this opportunity. And I really am looking forward to a wonderful discourse led by Professor Herman Kadus and the excellent HR leaders and the fantastic educators who are with us today. Thank you so much. Back to you, Master of Ceremonies. Thank you.
Thank you so much, dear sir, for such a heartwarming and an awe-inspiring presidential address. Let's imagine a world where what you say syncs up, but it synchronizes up, not syncs down. Says stands
back to you.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir, Arul, sir. Can hear you.
May I now invite Ms. Jennifer, training faculty from Don Bosco Valikatti, to introduce the moderator and the panelists of the day's event.
Arul, I think it's back to you. Arul, back to you.
So good evening, honorable virtual conclave members. Good evening, honorable virtual conclave members. I am happy to introduce the panelists to the group. Dr. Herman Kadus, the moderator of today's panel discussion. Mr. Herman Kadus is a resourceful training professional with a genuine interest in training and personality development, possesses a strong passion for imparting knowledge to motivate and inspire learners, creating a challenging environment. Mr. Herman Kadus is the director of Leaders Choice Soft Skill Training Club and proprietor of Leaders Choice Art Gallery in Trichy. His police well-being and also assistant professor, Department of Human Excellence in St. Joseph College, Trichy. His experience record, Head Department of French, St. Joseph College, Trichy. French teacher at SRV School, Samayapuram, Trichy. French teacher at Good Shepherd International School, Ooty. HOD Department of French, soft skill trainer at Trimus World School, Bangalore. His art exhibition and awards. His Guinness Records holder for tutoring the world's largest body language, Best Inspirational Artist of the Year Award 2018, awarded at Champfest Best Table Topic Speaker Toastmasters Club, Dubai. His professional related trainings and seminars are basic skills in counseling for 6 days organized by Counseling Center at St. Joseph College. Professional development program on how to get the best out of the worst at University of Wollongong Knowledge in Dubai. Paper published in Natural Conference members, Board of Studies involved, such as Holy Cross College in Trichy, Kaveri College in Trichy, Jamal Mohammed College in Trichy. Trainings and workshops handled by Herman Cardis on Know the Way, Show the Way and Lead in Bharatidasan University in Trichy. The Power of Communication Department of English at Jamal Mohammed College. Life Skill Department of Commerce and Business Administration at Holy Cross College. His personal effectiveness in service training to the inspectors and sub-inspectors of Police Department of Police, TSP, BN campus in Trichy. Welcome you, sir. It's my hearty welcome to introduce Sarath Chandra, the HR manager. He holds BTech MBA, Train the Trainer graduate, has a year of experience in the IT development sector, ERP and SAP. Breathing 10th year in the human resource management and talent management. His key building 150 employees to 2,300 employees organization in the span of 3 years. He is responsible for Pan-India campus and lateral recruitment. He is closely connected to around 400 plus colleges in South India and also the young minds. His current responsibility is as a General Manager HR from Vacant Technologies Private Limited. Welcome you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for my invite.
Yes, thank you, sir. Let me introduce Mrs. Elizabeth Johnson, is the Director of Human Resource at Economic System Private Limited, a prestigious core IT product development organization headquartered in the US. She began her illustrious career in 1998, and over the past 23 years, she has emerged as one of the most respected and widely acclaimed women leaders in the Indian corporate sector, especially in the field of information technology. She done her MBA first class in human resource management and also BEC Cambridge certified expert. In addition to this, she is also certified by International Coaching Federation as a mentor and coach. Mrs. Elizabeth is a towering personality in the world of HR leadership and management. Her expertise in women empowerment, employee management, policy making, coaching and mentoring, etc. Welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. I'm privileged to introduce Mr. Balachandar, MCom, MPhil, NET. He has 20 years of experience as assistant professor in Commerce Department, and now at present his designation is placement officer and head PG Department of Commerce in Mar Gregorius College of Arts and Science. In his tenure as NCC officer in charge in college NCC RD Parade, he is first cadet from NCC to attend RD Parade. He was organizer of the mega alumni meet. Nearly 300 students gathered. As a placement officer, he has helped more than 600 students to get job in various reputed concerns. Welcome you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. It's my privilege to welcome Dr. Vijay Lakshmanan, MCA, MPhil, PhD, possess in-depth teaching experience of 18 years as a faculty of computer science and MSc IT department. As a head for a team of teaching and non-teaching staff. Tactful, result-oriented, polite, and highly successful professional with a positive attitude to work in tandem with superiors and students. Her core areas as follows. She is experienced in teaching PG and UG students, have conducted many workshops and seminars and conferences in the college. Current responsibility is heading the Department of Computer Science and MSc IT in Bhaktavachalam Memorial College in Chennai. Additional responsibilities as the head of placement cell. She has written a book on software testing for BCA courses published by Charulata Publication. As a placement head, placed more than 400 students average in a year for last 5 years in reputed institutions like Wipro, CTS, TCS, Infosys, ICICI, HDFC, Sutherland, and so on. Welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. And let me introduce Saravana Kumar Batmanaban, is Head of Human Resources and Administration at Core Solution Private Limited, breathing 28 years of experience in human resource management. Now, at present, is a Head of Human Resource and Administration Department. His skill endorsement is team management, screening, human resource management. So welcome you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It's my hearty welcome to Kishore Ji. He has close to 20 years of overall experience and has worked in leadership capacities in various human resource functions, including recruitment, selection, training, resource augmentation, strategic HR business partnering, talent and organization development, talent management, compensation, HR legal, employee relation, and corporate communication, and has been a key task members in the management leadership team, is driving HR professional and linkage throughout the organization. He holds MBA in General Management and Master of Human Resource Management from Pondicherry University. MSc degree in Information Technology and Management from Periyar University. He has headed the Human Resource Department of Seaview Support System Private Limited, a leading ITES company based out of Technopark, Trivandrum. IT companies specialized in SAP consulting operating from Technopark, Trivandrum. He is currently the head source of resource management and consulting and the head of administration in Innoval Digital Solution Private Limited, a global IT company specialized in SAP, product and service, and consulting. He spends considerable time in developing HR talent in the organization and developing them into world global team of excellence. So welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the interaction.
Thank you, sir. It's my privilege to welcome Dr. Ananda Lakshmi, MSc, MPhil, PhD, Controller of Examination from Queen Mary's College. She has 26 years of experience handling UG young minds and 9 years of experience handling PG young people. She worked in many colleges and finally she's from Queen Mary's College as a controller of examination. She has research experience of 2 years and 10 months on the topic improvement of post-harvest technology in rural area in Tamil Nadu. She published many papers, presentation and seminar for youth on healthy lifestyle. So welcome, ma'am. And finally, it's my privilege to welcome Dr. R. Gopalakrishnan. And finally, it's my privilege to welcome Dr. R. He is a principal of K.S. Rangasamy College of Technology, Tiruchengood in Tamil Nadu. His educational qualification is BE, ME, PhD. He has overall 18 years of experience. That is 13 years of experience in academic side and 5 years of experience in industry side. Its significant achievement is instrumental in achieving BEE 3-star rating for SDB1 in Cognizant at MEPZ. His achievement in training and placements concern placed more than 12,000 students, engineering plus arts and science plus diploma students during the last 6 years. Accredited by MS Wipro for the campus recruitment. Trained more than 5,000 students on soft skills. Placed 500 engineering and MCA students during 2015 to 16 in the day one recruitment. Placed 76 candidates in InfoView during 2015 to 16 with 4.5 LPA and stand top in join. So thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for the brief introduction about the moderator and the panelists. The aim of discussion is not about victory, but about progress. I muse it a source of pride to invite Professor Herman Cardes, the moderator of the day's event, to introduce the topic and initiate the panel discussion.
Thank you, MC, as well as thank you to the madam who had introduced me. Thank you so much for the wonderful introduction. And my special welcome to all the panelists, Mrs. Elizabeth Johnson, Mr. Saravana Kumar, Mr. Kishore, Mr. Sarat Chandar, Dr. Gopalakrishnan, Dr. Biji Lakshmi, Dr. Ananta Lakshmi, and Professor Balachandar, and the keynote speaker, Mr. Mark Anthony, and my special thanks to all the Reverend Fathers of Don Bosco Valikati and the various other team which has really worked behind this program as well. To introduce this topic has been a hot topic for not just today, but for the past decade, I can say. Does the institution match out to the expectations of the corporates? Or are the students really finding themselves employable to the current scenario of the corporate world? Do they match in? Do they fit in? So the topic given to us can be split into three forms. The topic is role of institutions in developing employability skills of the students to match industry expectations from an HR perspective. So if I want to split this topic into three forms, the first one would be the role of institutions in developing employability skills of the students. And that is the reason why we have 4 panelists from the educational background. They are strong educationalists who have more than 18 to 20 years of experience. So one of them being a principal, one from the controller of examinations, and 2 of them as head of the departments as well, from the educational part of it as well. Now, matching the industry expectations. Does the college, does the education system of the country basically push the students or promote the students or prepare the students or get the students to be prepared for the expectations of the industry? So that's the second part of it. Do the students meet out the expectations of the industry? Now, the most important point is the whole topic revolves on an HR perspective. And that is the reason why we have senior HR professionals from the country, Mrs. Elizabeth Johnson, Mr. Saravana Kumar, Mr. Kishore, and Mr. Sarat Chandar. And all of them have more than 20 years of experience, and they have seen thousands of students. They have employed thousands of students, and that they exactly know how the students come out of the college and how they are trained in the transition, or do they really fit into the corporate world, or should they be really worked on to meet out the expectations of the corporate as well. And from the keynote speaker, I also understood, and it was alarming to note when the keynote speaker mentioned that 17% of the boys in the country today and 14% of the eligible girls are employable, are fit to be employable. Now, the concept of fitness and the concept of preparedness for employability and the skills needed to meet out the matches of the constraints of the corporate, or the employability skills, which most people call it, do these children have it? Do these students have it? Or is it a challenge for the HR professionals, on the other hand, to pull out the balance when only 17% of the boys in the country are worth employable? What happens to the rest of the boys? The rest of the percentage of the boys, are the HR faculty, or does the HR faculty down have a solid hard time in training these younger minds which are worthy for great lives as well? Now, this is the topic all about. It's a very, very important topic. It's not just a topic which is very much important during the pandemic. The point was, this topic has been a topic for more than 1 or 2 decades in my knowledge as much as possible, because this topic, meeting out the expectations of the corporate is moving. The competition in the corporate is moving continuously. Are the colleges matching in line with the expectations of the corporate? Do they literally get their students to that benchmark or bench line which is expected from the corporates? Is still a question. It's still a question. And in this pandemic, everything is brought to a standstill, and training the students to work from home, training the employees or students who are employed in 2020, or some would have finished in 2021 who are employed in 2021, they start working from home. It is so difficult for a student who's gone through 2 years of education in a college, who has gone through offline mode of education, and he pushes himself to an online mode of education. He finds it so difficult. A student who has gone through with approximately 12 years of schooling and 2 years of college finds his final year online very difficult. Now, how is this student going to meet out an employability skills with employability skills, finding an employment during this pandemic and working from home? Is the burden thrown onto the HR professionals, or are the educationalists not meeting out or matching out the expectations of the HR professionals is exactly what the question and what the debate is going to be and what the discussion is all going to be. And we have so many students from various platforms who are audiences down over there. I am very, very positive and sure that the panelists who are going to be discussing on this discussion are experts from various fields, and they have seen it in and through. What are the pros and cons of this particular problem, and they know what they are facing. And today they will be speaking about what they are facing and institutions, what trouble they are facing from the students, from the corporates, from the society to match or prepare their students for a powerful career as well. The Indian constitution and the Indian country basically depends on the younger generation. And it is a sole responsibility of the colleges and the institutions to prepare them for the corporates, where the corporates take over. It's like a relay. When you find Usain Bolt running in a 4x100 meters relay, if the first two runners, if they don't pass the baton, and if the changeover of the baton is not proper, then even if it is Usain Bolt, it is so difficult to meet out that race and win that race. So it is a combination. It is like asking me whether the educationalist from my left eye or is it the HR from my right eye is more important. Let us understand both of us are really important to make a small student a great citizen of the country, employable, increasing his economy, increasing his lifestyle, and also increasing the economy of the country and making these people as global citizens. This is a beautiful topic. The topic revolves around the statement, role of the institutions in developing employability skills of the students to match industry expectations in the perspective of a HR. Simple and clear. It's going to be a defending party on one side. It's like a girl being married from one house. You have a maiden name and then you go into your husband's house. Is it whether the girl is prepared to meet out the expectations to be a wife, a mother in the in-laws house? It's a question similar to that. It is a connection of the institutions and the corporates together. Are we bridging this gap in the right way is the question and the question of the day. Ladies and gentlemen, my first question will move on to Mrs. Elizabeth Johnson from the HR perspective. She is the Director of Human Resources from the Economic Systems Private Limited, Bangalore, a very, very senior HR professional who had seen thousands of youngsters and who had trained thousands of youngsters. I have a question to you, madam. As a director of and being the HR director of a premier IT company, which has its headquarters from the United States of America, what are your basic expectations from this younger generation who wants to be employable in your company?
Thank you, Professor. Thank you for the question. So it is a very relevant question, which is very important to every HR professional, be it in India or the US or anywhere in the world, any part of the world. Now, to get the right people on board, and you create a win-win situation for the company and the employees. But if you hire the wrong people, then sooner or later, you will realize who's sinking the ship. So to address your question on my basic expectations from employees, I would like to put forth an acronym that is ASK, A-S-K, which is attitude, skills, and knowledge. If I find someone with the right attitude that complements the value system of our organization and the technical skills that will help him or her to perform their task, well, along with the knowledge to implement learning at work. And then we are looking at a winner, which is a fundamental factor for all HRs in selection and retention of employees. I'm sure my esteemed HR colleagues in this panel would also agree with me on this particular point.
Thank you, madam. Your point about the acronym of ASK, whether the attitude, the skills, and the knowledge matches out the core values of your company. If that is found in a student, you're ready to welcome them into your organization. Very beautifully answered. I have a question now coming into Dr. Gopalakrishnan, who is the principal of Rangasamy College of Engineering and Technology, who has more than 18 years of experience. My question is, as madam rightly pointed out, Mrs. Elizabeth rightly pointed out about the attitudes and skills and knowledge, how does your institution prepare the students towards industry requirements, especially during normal days and especially during this pandemic? How do you really work on with your students, and how does your institution prepare the students for wonderful, well-established corporates as well? Mr. Gopalakrishnan, over to you.
Yeah, thank you. So thanks for the opportunity. And before starting my inputs, our Mr. Mark has mentioned about employable and employability, sorry, eligibility and employability. In addition to that, now the buzzword based on the interaction of so many corporates, we also understand and another word called deploy. Sorry, I think please kindly mute your microphone. Thank you. Please mute your microphone. Yes.
Participants, kindly mute your microphone while the panelists are talking. Kindly mute your microphone, please. We request you to mute your microphone.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, sir. Thanks, participants. So, sir, actually, as per Mr. Mark Antony's input, he was talking about eligibility, employability, and also Madam was talking about attitude, skills, and knowledge. We also have another word called deployable, because now the organizations, they're not only looking for the skills of employability. We also know that very well. Day one deployment is highly mandatory for any students. That's what we groom our students. I'll tell you, the category we normally categorize the students based on their skill set. It is not that putting everyone in one particular pool and making them to attend the process and all these things. We categorize them from the second year. In fact, in the second semester onwards, because I'm the principal of engineering college, Case Rangasamy College of Technology. So here our objective is to make the students skillable. It is not only employable, it is not only knowledge based. We wanted to make them as a skillable, because we wanted to create not engineering graduates, we wanted to create engineers. That's what our objective. Here, two mantras. One is project based learning, because it's engineering is all about more of activity. So project based learning, otherwise activity based learning, otherwise learning by doing. But particularly during this pandemic, you may ask, these things may be possible when the physical mode of education is there. But during this pandemic, we have a very good learning management system. So through the learning management system, we also have developed an in-house tool called lot of tools. We have one particular specific tool is called DigiPro. See, I know, all of you know very well, even HR folks know very well, any course or any domain is for that matter, the problem solving ability is highly important. So we are ensuring that it is one of the part of our curriculum. So we have a career competency development. So that through that career competency development, we ensure that our students will be able to learn all these things. They're applying in the real-time problems and the case studies. That is how we groom them. So objective is making them employable, not only employable, deployable. I'll come back again how we are doing it, the deployable thing in the next process, probably in the other interaction. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Gopalakrishnan. Normally, when it comes to the fundamental skills, the employability skills, these are basically categorized into three areas. One is the fundamental skills, the personal management skills, and the teamwork skills. As Dr. Gopalakrishnan rightly mentioned about in the fundamental skills, thinking creative and taking decisions plays a major role in the fundamental skills as well. Thank you so much, Dr. Balakrishnan, and your project, Gopalakrishnan, thank you so much. And your project-based learning is very effective with students as well. We find most of the students taking up projects and working on with that is being really wonderful. Thank you so much for your response as well. Moving on to Mr. Saravana Kumar. Mr. Saravana Kumar, you are a very, very senior HR professional based in Chennai with more than 28 years of experience. Can you tell our audience the importance of training and development at work, with communication skills being the skill most affected in the recent years? What's your opinion on that?
Thank you, Mr. Herman. Yes, training and development has been one of the important skills for both individual and the organization, without which people will not move up the corporate ladder. To be very clear, I stand here as an example. I started my career as a software developer, Mr. Herman. Today I am leading the organization. I moved into the management sector because the organization was involved, which I was working. It was continuously into developing the people. Otherwise, people don't find time. They all think once I get into an organization, there ends my thing. My goal is achieved. But that's not the case. Once you enter your organization, you are into the first step. From there, your growth starts. If you are not willing to learn, develop your skills, you would be overrun by your juniors or others, to be very precise. So always we think, the open-mindedness of the individual is a very key factor for the training and development of the individual. In terms of communication skills, yes, we find a lot of difficulties in getting people to communicate their ideas to the clients or to their superiors, because most of the people say that even in schools English is taught in Tamil. So
yeah, I got it. I got the joke.
English. So what we have to develop them. It is our responsibility. You said, right? Yes. Is it the responsibilities of the HR guys? Yes, definitely yes. It is the responsibility of the HR guys to groom the individual, to make the resource as a better professional. That is what it is. They come in as a resource to us.
Mr. Saravana Kumar, I think your mic is muted. Yeah, you can speak now, sir. Yes, sir.
Sorry, I lost you. You were saying something.
It is the responsibility of the HR to groom the students. That's what you said. Thank you so much. First time I hear an HR taking up all the responsibility of a student onto his head, saying that I am responsible. I am given a valuable stone, and shaping it and polishing it and making a diamond out of it comes from me. I'm so happy, gentlemen. And as a great senior HR professional, ultimately you have taken it. That is the quality of leadership and taking responsibility. Well, very beautifully said, sir. And you have mentioned it very clearly that continuous development is very essential. And in case if you don't meet out the expectations and grow regularly, if you're not open to growth and change regularly, you'll find your juniors outbeating you in the process as well. And at the same time, you said open-mindedness is a very, very important role. I deeply do understand, and I'm so happy that you are helping students who have been taught English in Tamil. Some of the schools, as you rightly pointed out, even in colleges, some of the colleges teach English in Tamil, which is too difficult for their students to really manage spoken English while they come into the corporates. I'm so happy. They would be really blessed to have a HR professional like you. Thank you so much. You have well answered the question, and it's really an inspiration, not only to me, to all the HR professionals present over here, and to the rest of the juniors who are present down over here. Thank you so much, sir. Moving on to Dr. Biji Lakshmi. Dr. Biji Lakshmi, you are from Bakwachalam Memorial College. You are heading 2 teaching departments in your college, and you are also a placement director in your college as well. How do you manage it?
Good afternoon, sir. Actually, to be frank, I have a very good team. So in my department, as well as in the placement department, placement cell, I have excellent team. And only with the cooperation of my team members, I'm able to manage myself. And whatever work has been done, I plan it ahead. In advance. so that I ensure that all the work is being done in a timely manner. So that is how I manage both the departments as well as the placement.
Thank you, madam. Teamwork matters a lot, as rightly Mr. Mark had pointed out, and a few other HR professionals have pointed out. Teamwork matters a lot, and you really rely on your team. A good leader always relies on his team, as Mark rightly pointed out by Henry Ford, quoting Henry Ford. In case if you want to move far, and not very fast, but very far, you need a powerful team, and you have appreciated to your team as well. Special appreciation to your team as well. Thank you so much, madam. Moving into Mr. Kishore. Mr. Kishore, you're from Kerala. You head the resource management and consulting Innoval Digital Solutions from Private Limited from Trivandrum. Your company is based in Technopark at Trivandrum. Can you tell us the effect of the pandemic on one of the country's oldest IT hubs, the iconic Technopark of Trivandrum? How is the Technopark of Trivandrum being affected by this pandemic? We know the whole world is affected, but how, especially in context with the Technopark of Trivandrum, how is it affected? Mr. Kishore, over to you. Can you hear me?
Thank you. Am I audible?
Yes, Mr. Kishore, you're audible. Thank you.
Yeah, very good evening to all once again. I'm happy to be part of this event. It always gives me pleasure, immense pleasure, while interacting with the student and teaching community. And I've been doing this regularly as part of my job since last 17 to 18 years. And hence, I'm really excited to be part of the discussion. Many thanks to Mark and the entire organizations of this event. Hope the discussion will be beneficial to the audience present in this group, especially the students and the teachers who are looking forward to it. Coming back to the question, definitely COVID-19 has impacted many industries. Maybe I would say 90% of the industries are affected due to this pandemic situation. The information technology sector in India, after maybe its markets in the USA or the US or the UK have started cancelling projects, is currently facing a challenge now. Having said that, there is prediction of a steady growth as well expected in the IT sector for the next 5 years, especially from the 2020 to 2025 tenure. Maybe while the large companies are yet to come out with the statement on the current situation, majority of the small and medium companies have reported severe cash flow crisis due to the project cancellations. Specifically to the question, your question about how Technopark is affected. I'm not sure how many of you are aware of that Technopark is the first and the largest IT park in the country. And we have about close to 300 plus companies functioning in the campus, and about close to 1.2 lakhs employees working with various medium, SME, startup companies in Technopark. So these IT companies are in a state of panic. As I told you earlier, they've started losing the contracts. Maybe 2020 was good for them, most of us. But 2021, from the beginning of the year 2021, maybe from the financial year onwards, because it's the time where the contracts have to be renewed and all. So at this point of time, we are in a sort of trouble wherein we don't know what the situation is. We believe that this industry will have to take some very careful and sensitive steps to tide over the financial and operational impacts of this crisis of the coming months. But some of them have already started cutting, pay cuts and reducing the strength employees. We are from a small base of, SAP products and services company, and we have a lot of Indian customers. Mostly our 70% of the customers are from India, maybe 350 plus customers we are having. About that, from 70% of the customers are from the Indian market. And most of these companies, especially the manufacturing companies, the FMCG companies, because of the loss of their business in the year 2020, they have started thinking to reduce the IT budget. So this is the area where we need to definitely think about. But in general, if you say IT industry is growing, there is a boom expected from this year onwards, and especially in the healthcare sector. So that is what it is all about in general from Technopark.
Okay, thank you. US and UK have started canceling out their projects, and you said you have to be too sensitive to meet out the demands of this pandemic as well. Rightly mentioned, we pray that the IT boom up and the health sector boom up, and you also boom up, and your company also really booms up very well. Thank you so much, sir, for answering this question. Moving on to Dr. Ananta Lakshmi. To be sensitive during this pandemic was a term which was used. Is my voice audible? Am I audible?
So your voice is audible, but echo.
1 minute, sir. Is it okay now?
Not okay, sir.
I don't know what is the trouble. Okay. Okay, I'll post this question.
Professor Herman, maybe you have logged in from a different device at the same time. This can happen.
No, I'm on the same device. I've not touched anything. I'm on the same device. I'll log in again. I'll log in again. I'll log in again. Am I audible now, sir?
Yes, sir. Comfortable.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry for the technical snag. Still, it's echoing, I think so.
Yes, sir.
Herman, if possible, connect to your mobile.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely fine, Herman, without echo.
Thank you. Yeah. But still it's echoing. Okay. Okay, thank you. I don't know. I don't know.
Hey, Mr. Gopal, you have to utilize this opportunity.
I think I'm on. I think I'm on another one. I think now it's clear.
No, Sharath, I think this is the proper.
Is it clear now?
No, sir.
Yes, it is clear.
Okay, madam. I move on to sorry for the technical side.
No, I think.
Dr. Ananthan, you are the controller of examinations at your college. How challenging is it to conduct exams online? Because to conduct this webinar online, we have so many technical snags. We have so many problems ongoing and so many things happening. How is it that you are handling examinations for thousands of students during this pandemic online?
When it comes to the challenges, the technology adaptation was a great struggle for both the students as well as for the staff. And we cater to the needs of the poor students. They don't even have internet facility. Even EB facility is also limited for them. So it was a great challenge. And we had mock trials for the students. And we move on to 90 minutes of that is 1.5 hour of examination. And then for the present April 2021, we have moved on to the 3 hours of online examination. Of course, the volume of work had increased tremendously because we had been conducting the exam almost every month. We started it in the month of September, and it continued in December, and even in the month of January we had exam, and March also we had exam. It is partly, distributed among students. Like for third year UG we had separately, and for PG, first PG we had separately, and for MPhil we had separately, and now at present in April 2021 for first, second and third UG, and for the PG second year and MPhil we are conducting now. And again, it's a long process because usually we used to have only 2 semester exams. That's all. The work will get over. But throughout the year, we are conducting exams, and it is a tremendous work. And again, I would like to point out, it is the teamwork that is only facilitating us to go ahead. And we do have a very good principal. She also directs us in the right way. So it is an asset because though it is a great struggle, when there is a path behind, definitely we'll move forward. No, that kind of environment is provided. So I really thank for that. And see, in this juncture, I would like to tell that the students will have more marks because it's an online examination. There are chances for copying. It's something like an open book. See, we are not conducting exam like Anna University where they have AI facility. We are a government college and we have limited resources. So we are conducting it on online. The marks may be, the grades may be very good, but the employability skills will be lacking, for which I would like to put forth to the senior HR to train the students. And in the year beginning itself, you can talk to our head of the institution. You can have an orientation drive so that from the year beginning, we will be able to bridge the gap between the institutions as well as to the corporate. So that will be fine because we are a government institute. We don't have enough resources to train the students. If we are given a period like an year, that will help us. Even during this pandemic, our staff had put interview skills video and presentation skills video and soft skills. Okay. All these had benefited our students.
Thank you, Dr. You have spoken about the ethical point of students, as well as you have spoken about the effect of the pandemic as well. My next question is to Mrs. Elizabeth Johnson. As Madam Anantalakshmi pointed out, students are finding it difficult to train themselves in colleges. Do you believe that only the IITs and the IIMs can crack into the top companies, or the students with even small college, from a small college in a remote place, can make it big? What is your opinion on this, madam?
If you don't mind, sorry to interrupt you.
Yes, sir.
And, sometimes it may be working. Remove the jump.
Is it okay now, sir? No, it's echoing from three, what you can say, three mobile phones and
So it's fine now, sir.
connected the laptops together, or
fine
the
now.
mobile phones together.
So it's fine now.
It's fine.
We can hear you now.
It's
Am I clear now?
Yes, yes, sir. Very much.
Okay, thank you. Mrs. Elizabeth Johnson, can only the IITs and the IIMs make it to the top? What about a student who's from a small college in a village? Can he also make it to the top? What is your opinion and what is your point of view on that?
Thank you, Professor, for this question. Before I answer the question, I would like to tell you something about my company. So I work in Economic Systems Private Limited, which is a game-changing innovation provider in preventing health software for enterprises. We make ML-based products that predicts upcoming issues in complex applications running in cloud native. And the product handles very high volumes of streamlining data and performs complex learnings on structured and unstructured data in real time. We use technologies of machine learning and artificial intelligence. So the ideal candidate that we look for should be having a passion for building products and solving problems and building data pipelines. Very niche kind of technologies is what we work into. So now to answer this question, the IITs, the IIMs, or even MIT, Harvard, Cambridge, Oxford, etc., do certainly have significant leverage in the career acceleration of professionals globally. But let me affirm that anyone from any background, be it urban or rural, can make it into the best and biggest corporation of the world if they have four important points, according to me. Because as a HR professional, that's what I look at when I interview candidates. A clear focus and achievable goal which they are passionate about. The fire in the belly attitude to work extremely hard to achieve their goal, no matter how hard the circumstances. An understanding of their strengths and shortcomings and steadfast determination and effort to convert their shortcomings into strengths. A good mentor who can guide them in this world where the trial and error method of learning and implementation is not feasible anymore. These are the 4 points that I look into while I'm hiring, candidates.
Thank you. So these 4 points, this can be even found in a normal college as well. And any student who has the drive and the passion to work hard and to maintain these 4 points can find a place in your organization as well. It's not the IITs or the IIMs alone who take this brand tag. Every man who has the passion to do it big can do it big. Thank you so much. Very beautifully said, madam. Thank you. Dr. Gopalakrishnan, during this pandemic, it's so difficult, as we found Mr. Kishore and Mr. Sarath Chandra speaking about the pandemics as well. It is so difficult in this pandemic to work on with the normal schedule as well. I just want to know whether this pandemic has affected the recruitment process and the industry relationship. What is your point of view on this, Dr. Gopalakrishnan?
No, actually, in fact, we had a fear factor, in fact, initially, but we normally look any challenges as opportunities. That's what our key strength. No, we never stop, communicating our corporates and clients. That is our order of the day. Regularly we used to communicate. Now what we did, we identified the local companies where we haven't pitched in. So 2 things we have very, very particular, whether if the physical mode of process is not there, we have to ensure that we are highly equipped with the online process. There is no problem. And we are already doing a lot of online examination. We are the one of the center for conducting the gate examination, any examination for that matter online. We are highly equipped with minimum 800 systems to 1000 systems. Online process, there is no problem at all. The second one, normally we send our students in the 7th semester itself, 8th semester itself, to the industries for the internship process. So there was no small tip, but we approach the companies and we will be able to get online internship. Not only that, NASCOM and Cisco, they have announced, through NetAcad, they have announced online internship. Then we motivated our students to register. A lot of students got, it is not about how much they have been getting from the organization. It is about, we explain them, it's a kind of exposure you must get when you are doing your engineering. Apart from that, Internshala. So a lot of online process is there. So our faculty team, and we have an exclusive training and placement team. With the support of them, we will be able to identify different companies. Then we motivated our students to get more internship. And more than that, final thing I want to tell you, we strongly believe in that we educate our students, have a horizontal exposure and vertical expertise. So with that idea, now we will be able to manage the situation in well manner. That's what I wanted to tell you.
Very good, very good. Regular connection with the corporates as well. Your placement office is regularly connecting the corporates as well. And you're moved into online internship as well, which has really helped your students to meet out the needs now. Thank you so much. Very beautifully said. It's not just an idea or a point, but it is very beautifully said, which most of the colleges can also practice from them as well. Mr. Kishore, I have a question to you. Can you tell us what is the placement scene in Kerala? And how has Kerala emerged as one of the most advanced states in India, especially in the quality of higher education? What is your opinion on that? What is the placement standards now in Kerala? And how do you think that Kerala has emerged as one of the most advanced states in India, especially in the quality of higher education? Mr. Kishore, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks for that question. About the placement scene in Kerala, as the core topic is all about placements and industry institute interaction. There have been a lot of opportunities for youngsters, irrespective of the pandemic scenario. So for instance, our case, as I told you, we are an SAP products and services company. We have been recruiting a lot of youngsters, especially in last year, we have done 2 times recruitment. Maybe in the March and in July, we have done 2 sets of recruitments, 30 people itself. And again in 2021, in March, another batch. Last month, we have started another batch for SAP trainees. So we had a problem, how to mobilize these candidates from the campuses, especially in a scenario where this pandemic thing is going on, and how can we coordinate things and all. But fortunately, we have got for each recruitment, every time whenever we had placed an recruitment ad, we've got about close to 1,000 applicants for a particular position. Say, for example, we are recruiting SAP trainees. So we've got about close to 1,000 applicants. Mostly, since we are based out of Trivandrum, we have an office in Mangalore and we have another office in Mumbai. We were actually focusing on these areas. But from these areas itself, we have got close to 1,000 profiles, and we have shortlisted the best candidates from that. So that means instead of the pandemic scenario, as I told you earlier, IT is on a boom. So don't worry. My specific suggestion to the teaching community and the student community, you can just have faith. This will definitely be live. The industry will be active, and recruitment will be happening, especially at the what you call fresher level, and that will definitely happen. So placement scenario, when it comes to placement, there is no problem in terms of placement, especially in the IT sector. And regarding the second part of your question, the Kerala have the best quality of life and have access to maybe excellent medical and education facilities on par with some of the Western countries. This is just because of the reason that the state boasts a high level of literacy, maybe close to 100% in terms of literacy. The way above the country standard for men and women, and life expectancy is the highest in the whole, maybe in the Indian subcontinent. So education in Kerala with a literacy rate of close to 94%. Maybe the various governments in Kerala have put a lot of percentage of their budget, financial budget, in the development of the educational sector in the last maybe 4 to 5 years time. And we can see like a lot of institutions from Kerala. Maybe I think there are about 20 of them in the top 100 colleges of India in the NIRF 2020 status. So, but there is another thing, like there was always a tendency, like a lot of people, especially the Malayali boys and girls, were flowing to the institutions, to the neighboring states, like especially in Tamil Nadu and Karnataka. But now that has been stopped, at least for the last 5 to 10 years. Just because of the reason that a lot of self-financing institutions have come, the competition has been there in the self-financing and also as well as the government sector. So this has been one of the reasons for the the quality of education, improvement of quality of education in the state, I would say.
Thank you so much, and you have given real good news to all the professors that freshers will be taken no matter the pandemic, whatever the pandemic is. Freshers placement for the freshers would be there. Thank you so much, and we are so happy, and it's a great achievement of 100% placement, or 100% literacy rate in Kerala. It's an amazing achievement as well. I move on to Dr. Biji Lakshmi. Dr. Biji Lakshmi, as Mr. Sarachandra pointed out, that there are 100% placement going to be held even during this pandemic. What are the key challenges your students face when it comes to placement, and how do you help them to overcome it? Dr. Biji Lakshmi, are you there?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can hear you. What are the challenges your students face when it comes to the placement, and how do you help them overcome it?
Yeah, the key challenges, what I can say is like the first thing is communication skills.
Okay.
The students, they're not able to speak English fluently, so lack of communication skill is there, and they're not much confident to speak enough. So in case of GDs or anything like face-to-face interview also, they don't speak out. So there is a problem where they're not exposed to such kind of scenario. And the second is like they're not aware of the current situation or current scenario in the industry, and what actually the industry require. What is the requirement standards? The students are not aware of it, and the thing is like they don't update themselves, and to overcome all these challenges, we do give enough training, pre-placement training, and of course soft skills training we have in our college also. I mean, we give add-on courses like some of the government related courses like NPTEL, SWAYAM courses, MOOC courses. All these courses will help the students to enhance their technical skills as well as analytical skills. And for communication skills, we have our English department who they every week they give this soft skills training, and of course even in the curriculum, Madras University curriculum, we have this soft skills as a subject. And of course students gain knowledge with this, but it's not up to the mark. I think we have to we also invite the recruiters to give enough employability skills, enough training to the students, so that they can gain some more knowledge to enhance their communication skills and be confident enough to overcome this challenge.
Thank you, madam. Thank you. Professor Balachandar, can I bring you in as a placement officer of your college? What are the tips you have for the rest of the placement officers in attracting companies? We found Dr. Gopalakrishnan speaking about points about online training and online internship programs. And here on the other side, Mr. Sarachandar mentioned about the placement of the freshers will happen even though there is a pandemic on the other side. And what is your point of view on this, Professor Balachandar?
Yes,
how do you attract the recruiters from your college, and what is your general advice to the rest of the placement officers as well?
Rightly pointed out, Kishore sir rightly pointed out. I also discussed with the 20 HRs. They are saying that for the newcomers, there are plenty of job opportunities. Especially, we should not wait for the companies. We have to invite the companies. because if we are waiting for the companies when they will be giving, so we have to invite the companies wherever, whatever the nature of the company, we have to take the first step. There should be a continuity of communication between the placement officer and the company HRs. That may be my suggestion, as well as the arrangements, proper arrangements at the time of the campus drive. That time they should not search for the rooms and other things. So these are the things, as well as they are coming for the mega campus drive. More number of participants they may be expecting, and at one sitting, more number of students should be selected. That's what they arrange. That time 30 students or 40 students, it may be irritating. So we have to go on and motivate the students to participate in all the activities, and the company profile should be given to them, job role, and that is job description, everything should be given to the students. That may be helping them to find a very good placement, and a proper follow-up should be done afterwards also. This is what my suggestion.
Okay, thank you. You were talking about motivational levels. Can I bring in Dr. Ananthalakshmi? Dr. Ananthalakshmi, can you share us with us the motivational levels of your students and whether they have a clear goal in their life? Professor Balachandar was talking about motivation in students, that we have to motivate them. Dr. Ananthalakshmi, can you tell us, can you share some of the motivational tips or the motivational level of your students, whether they have a clear goal in their life as a player?
See, when it comes to motivational level of our students, it all depends on the parents, teachers, and the friends group they belong to. If they are motivating, definitely they'll go in the right way. And again, I'm talking about the students of Government Arts and Science College. See here, the students, I mean, the financial constraint is a main problem, and many of the students are the breadwinners. So if that is going to be the case, they'll come to college and they opt for the part-time job. Such talented students, they go for this Paramudar Cholai and all those shops, and just to meet their family needs, they are going. So here, even though we motivate, their need is such that they are the breadwinners. So only 30% of the students, they have a clear goal in life and they excel. That is the real scenario in a government college.
It happens. Even with St. Joseph's College, even St. Joseph's College has gone with the best of the products in the country, or they had seen the best of students, Dr. Abdul Kalam, and there was a time when the country was ruled by St. Joseph's College. The Supreme Court judge, the election commissioner, the president of India, all were at the same time from St. Joseph's College. But St. Joseph's College for the past 30 years have gone down to the first generation learners. And these students who come from very poor backgrounds, the only thing they need is an immediate job which they can make money, and that money is used for their basic needs of their food, clothing, and shelter. I deeply do understand it's a totally a different task of, as we had mentioned earlier to Mrs. Elizabeth on the other side, whether it's IIT or IIM, they have their own funding to do it. But when it comes to the rest of the colleges, as you rightly mentioned, students are finding it difficult to even to have their meal. And to make it very clear to you, St. Joseph's College for a year gives approximately 1 crore rupees for the students for their basic food and their educational purposes as well. I know what you're talking about, and I've gone through what exactly you're talking about. I have a question to Professor Balachandar. Professor Balachandar, in your experience, you have literally placed so many students all over. Do you think that the students of the present day are working very hard and they have a vision and a mission like the students of 15 to 20 years ago? What's your opinion on it?
Yes, sir. What great question you have raised, actually. I have a 20 years experience. The previous batch of students, the earlier part, they accepted the challenges. Nowadays, they are not ready to accept the challenges. That is main aim is degree, passing the degree, actually, not for learning for life. The skill they are not learning, actually. Now, a lot of skill development programs are there. National Skill Development Corporation providing a lot of organizations, free training programs are given. But people are not ready to accept that. Easily they want to be placed. So job guarantee they are expecting, but job assistance only can be provided. All the companies, they may be providing the skill development training programs. They will be providing job assistance, not they can give the jobs. So when we are going to buy a product, we will select a good product, good fruit. That is what we used to select. Likewise, every company used to select a very good person only to the company. He should be an asset or she should be an asset. This is what they aim, actually. But now the people are thinking, oh, easy job. They are not ready to for sales and field officer in the bank. So they want to sit, even they are ready to accept the BPOs, they want to sit in one place and work. This is nowadays. But previously they accepted. My students now foreign country, vice president, manager level, several students, the first 3 batch, 97, 98, 99 batch students, they are in very good position. The percentage is 40% of the students in very good place. Nowadays, we could not find that. They are thinking that everything come to the doorstep. They want to get everything. That even the job opportunity also should knock the door. That's what they are expecting. It is not nowadays. I am finding that kind of attitude among the students. Yeah.
I understand, sir. I understand. There's a lot of a difference, but I think our set of audience is totally different. It's a Saturday evening, and you have a time to have the best of times, to have whatever you want. In some places, it's a lockdown. In Pondicherry, it's a lockdown, and in some places, it's free. But still, most of you have chosen to come into this webinar, and that shows your involvement as well. And the audience, what we have now, the student audience, what we have now, is not exactly the same outside like what Professor Balachandar has rightly mentioned. And 15 years ago, the respect and the impact of the teachers was totally different, and students had what they revered their teachers, whoever they seen, and they felt the teachers were one of the major causes as well. But since the smartphone has come for the past 5 to 10 years now, for the past 5 years, we find the students using smartphones as one of the most important sources. But the point is, students learn a lot, but they don't know what to learn, and they don't know how to unlearn what is not necessary for them. And that is the biggest point. The point is, the students know amazing things now, but the point is, do you know the right thing which is essential? That's exactly what the question is all about. Thank you so much, Professor Balachandar. You have rightly answered to it. Coming into Mr. Saravana Kumar, a senior HR professional, what is the future of the younger students awaiting job opportunities according to you? And how should the colleges prepare them for suitable employment? We heard Dr. Ananta Lakshmi on the other side speaking about the students who find it difficult for their food and they do part-time jobs and they really need a job at the end of the day of their college. It's something like you move to Canada, you finish your visa, and then the last day you have to come back to your country. You don't have time. Exactly. These students don't have time to even train themselves or to put themselves onto the highest level of employability skills to be employed by a company. What do you think? What do you think are the job opportunities for these people, and how should these colleges prepare them for suitable employability as well as for suitable jobs? What is your opinion, Mr. Saravana Kumar?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Herman. Like Mr. Kishore has emphasized already, 2021 would be a better year for the freshers, in my perspectives also. Because, let us take it from my organization point of view. We are into healthcare product development. And, this pandemic has increased our client. Unfortunately, it is very bad. Because, the people coming into the clientele has increased. So the team is getting expanded, where we are trying to bring in resources and add the freshers to the team. So the opportunities are there plenty for them. Only thing is, like Mr. Balachandar emphasized, when 10 years back, when we used to go to a college, let us say some ex-college, the students currently studying will ask their seniors, which company came, what was the selection process, how did you get through? And that thing is not existing now. Like he said, everything should come to my doorstep. But even for a job that is expected, it's not right. One. See, that interconnect is not there. Even I said, no, the training has to, people used to get trained. Let us say we want a mechanical engineer guy with an exposure to C or C++. People used to go and do it before we visit the college. But now they are saying, you are taking, right? You train us. That mentality is slowly putting the onus on the company itself. You give the facility for me if you want my my technical skills to be associated with you. So that is there. That has to change. And Miss Elizabeth was also emphasizing, not only IIMs and IITs people go. We always have the policy, don't visit the top institution, take people from the second tier institution. And we give preference to the first time graduates. This is, I'm talking about so that, you are giving a upliftment to the entire family. If a person who is already a government servant, father is a government servant, the inspector or a advocate, instead of taking them, take a person who's had a father as a farmer. He's coming to the society, he's venturing. So try to uplift him. That's how I have been doing, and we have been successful also. And what I would emphasize is, like, communication skills or anything, we can do it through our continuous comprehensive evaluation program. That is, we call it a CCE. But the attitude, that is what has to be groomed by the college, and make him, that will definitely take him to the next height.
I rightly do accept with what you have said. The attitude has to be groomed. I would just like to mention an example of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. I don't know how many of you have heard about it. He is a vegetarian. He was a vegetarian all through his life. The reason why he was a vegetarian was when he was studying in St. Joseph's College, the mess bill for the non-vegetarian in St. Joseph's College was 30 rupees. And the mess bill for vegetarian was 25 rupees. He could not afford that 5 rupees. And he went on to become a vegetarian down over there. From there till the end of his life, he was a vegetarian. And just imagine, ladies and gentlemen, being a Muslim from the Islam community, and Islamic biryani is so famous all over the world ultimately, and still holding on to be a vegetarian at the end of your life is still another thing. And as rightly Dr. Ananta Lakshmi pointed out, I can cite again another example from Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. While Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam was studying in St. Joseph's College, he used to literally distribute Dinamalar newspaper. And I had personally met some of his professors like Father Chinnadurai. They are good friends of mine. They are in their 95s and 96. They speak about adversity quotients. Adversity quotients is where a student knows he goes through a trouble. He has a financial trouble as well, but he knows how to convert that energy into a positive one. And that pushes him to the next level. And that's what exactly Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam did. So if the students can be taught on adversity quotients, how to use this adversity quotients in the right form, I think students can hit on the top. As Mrs. Elizabeth rightly pointed out, you can be from anywhere, from any nook and corner, even from a village, still hit the top if you have the right passion to do it. Mrs. Elizabeth, I come to you with the last question. As a senior professional, what is your message to thousands of younger students, especially to the women today who are looking forward to make a world of a future for them, especially to the women community? What is your point of view?
Professor, this is a very interesting question, because I believe in empowerment, women empowerment, and I believe in equal opportunity, and that is something that I very closely follow in my professional life. So, on my day, in my day-to-day life, with girls around, women around who I work with, I keep giving the message that I'm going to give it to the girls here on the floor. So, girls, my message to you is, first and foremost, believe in God and in yourself. Let no one tell you that you're incapable or incompetent just because you're a girl. You will live once. So, live wisely, live prayerfully, and live confidently.
Okay.
Next, cultivate the attitude of a learner, because the quality of learning are the wheels on which your career will move forward. So if you fail to keep learning, you will fail to keep earning. It works in the reverse as well. If you want to earn more, then you have to learn more. So keep learning and developing yourself intellectually as well as emotionally. The third, be ethical in your thoughts, words, and actions. Because no matter where you are, what you do, people will always keep judging you throughout your lives. And what I want you to remember is, at the end of it, it's only person that you need to convince is your own conscience. And those who who well and truly understand you will value you and respect you for your ethics, for your principles, and the moral behavior that you carry. Finally, you may have heard the saying, behind every successful man, there is a woman. But let me tell you that behind every successful woman, there is another woman. She may be your mother, she may be your sister, your teacher, your friend. So value the women in your lives and help one another to achieve what you are destined to accomplish in life. Wishing the best for all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Elizabeth. A different perspective behind every successful woman. There's another woman. It can be your mother, your grandmother, a professor, or even a friend of yours as well. Thank you so much. It was very beautifully said. Ladies and gentlemen, to the audience, I have a small statement to be proposed. You can type your questions on the chat box. We have another 2 more minutes for the panelists to answer. You can type your questions on the chat box, and whatever question is typed on the chat box would be given first preference, and then we will move into open questions from the public. I request the MC to make a note of the questions and pose the questions on behalf of the audience. My question to Dr. Gopalakrishnan. Dr. Gopalakrishnan, we are running short of time. I would like to make your answer, kindly make your answer very precise as well. Virtual learning is very important now, especially during this pandemic. Do you have any new initiatives taken in your institution to make virtual learning effective, and which is very much collaborative to the industry as well? Dr. Gopalakrishnan, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I'm audible.
Yes, sir, you're audible, sir. You're audible.
Yeah, thank you. So virtual learning, it's not, in fact, no, it's very new to us. In fact, we have been doing it for a long time. In fact, recently we also got an award from VBOX for the National Code of Education for implementing a lot of online process at our campus. So many things we have. Probably you said precise. So I just tell you, Madam also mentioned about empowering women. So recently we collaborated with 8 to 10 industries, all top industries. One is 2 industries, particularly for women, DXC Technologies and Salesforce, to train only the female engineers. That's one thing. Then there's other thing, Cisco NetAcad, and one very specific thing which I want to talk about, NASSCAM's Future Skill Initiative. So if you go to NASSCAM's Future Skill Initiative, then I'll tell you, you will be able to get all the so-called recent technologies you will be able to learn. So we collaborated with NASSCAM, and we also collaborated with so many top corporates and understand what is the exact requirement. So accordingly, we trained the students. Then the final thing which I wanted to tell you, we are going with the 2 modes. One is train, hire, deploy model, and another one is hire, train, deploy model. So both the models we are working on, and a lot of COEs and MOEs, which is helping our learning is easy, very, very easy manner. So it may be any virtual, it may be offline, anything. That's not a problem for us. And one more thing I want to tell you to Ananthalakshmi madam. So if you need any support on the digital front, so through CSR activity, we wanted to help the government college. At this point of moment, I wanted to register this. Anytime you can reach us through Mark Antony, otherwise through Herbert sir. So we are here to support Ananthalakshmi madam for the government college. That's what I want to tell you.
Thank you.
Thanks for the
so very kind of you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Wonderful. Helping each other has been more important now during this season. And thank you so much, Dr. Gopalakrishnan. Mr. Saravana Kumar, just make your answer very short and very crisp, like, working from home. When do you think we can work back into the office? And do you think there's a difference in the quality when you work from home?
No, we don't see a difference in quality firsthand. I will answer the second part. We don't see it, because, being into healthcare and, our product has to be addressed very specific. So we don't see any dip in quality and deliverables now. And regarding getting back to work in office, I'm keeping my fingers crossed, all 2 fingers, hands, everything crossed, because we plan to reopen our office on April 1st. But, from February 2nd week onwards, there was an increase in the pandemic situation again, which has forced us to defer and pushed it to 1st of July. So now we are contemplating whether, so I don't think even in July it will happen, probably push it again. That's what probably 2021 also will be a complete work from home. According to me, this is.
Okay, thank you, sir. Mr. Sarath Chandar on the other side. There is a trend among the IT companies to prefer freshers from other parts of Tamil Nadu as opposed to Chennai. Can you tell us the reason for it?
Thank you, Herban. The reason would be, it's my personal reason. The loyalty and the gratitude could be high with the non-Chennai people, could say. So, and since my one of the panelists told that, the first time graduates, we have to give the preference. Mr. Saravana Kumar told, we worked together in the past. So along with him, we initiated such thing, and it's a good model again. They are sticky with us. The attrition is very low with them when compared to the city-based colleges. So we wish to uplift the first graduation students, which we could get it out of city. Thank you.
Okay. We heard from a lot of the educationalists, from 3 or 4 of them, about what they are doing for the present generation, Mr. Sarath Kumar, to be employable in the corporates. You are a specialist, especially recruiting freshers from both engineering colleges as well as in the arts colleges, and you have recruited thousands of students. Can you tell us what should colleges do basically to get their students more employable, according to you, in your perspective?
They are doing a lot of efforts. Even we are providing a lot of inputs to the colleges. Particularly here, Mr. Gopalakrishnan is here. I'm one of the board member for his college, for KSR College.
Okay.
We are providing a lot of inputs to empower the students. Obviously, they are coming to us, and it's a mutual beneficial. Since they are autonomous, they could take a lot of our inputs to make it passive and return to us.
Okay.
So, but still, the pending thing is, they have to empower to take the ownership, to initiate. That's lagging every time. We know that first-time graduates are very high in many of the colleges. They are unable to initiate certain things, but colleges have to take the to motivate them and to take the ownership. Apart from language, I am also belongs to engineering and then management degree. I know how majority of the people, I could say like average people, they mug the code, some 10 to 15 codes they used to mug, and so with that they pass the exams. Language they learn and they pass it. Which eventually is not going to work out once they get into the corporate career and clear the campus drives. So what we suggest, apart from that coding, they should know software development cycle, they should know software testing life cycle, how the business goes, what is the country development, and what is the next step towards it, what is the before step towards it. If you know entire it could be and one of our panelists told that nowadays we are expecting deploy, and partners are expecting that in the day one itself we expect productivity, and that's the reason we are very close to the colleges and we're giving inputs to it, but there is a
Okay, I think there's some technical problem with Mr. Sarath Chandar. Once he gets back, we'll get it. Are you able to hear me, sir, Mr. Sarath Chandar? Okay. Dr. Biji Lakshmi, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Dr. Biji Lakshmi, do you think your classes online are very effective? Let's make it very short.
No,
are your
sir.
online classes very effective?
No, sir, it is not effective, because actually when we have these online classes, we have a great bondage with the students. So the teacher-student relationship is something great, which makes us understand the students more effectively. We can monitor the students more effectively. And so we feel that these online classes are not that effective, because we are not able to see the students. And these virtual classrooms may be good during this pandemic situation, because somehow we are able to impart the knowledge. but it doesn't work out like how it is we do in the
Offline.
traditional way of classroom teaching.
I got the idea. I got the idea. Thank you so much. Mr. Kishore, my last question to you. What would you like to tell the audience now? You are a very, very senior HR professional with a vast international experience as well from another state as well. What would you like to advise to the audience ultimately, your valuable experience from your valuable experience? Just 2 or 3 points.
Definitely, Professor Herman. I mean, we have been receiving a lot of negative feedback or maybe negative news all through from 2020 March onwards due to this pandemic scenario. So the word negative positive energy now is what I feel, especially when it comes to recruitment and placement, definitely for freshers. There are a lot of opportunities for freshers. So you don't need to worry. So be positive. That is one thing. I have been in the lot of campus for recruitments right from 2006 onwards. I mean, I've recruited or interviewed close to 10,000 or maybe more than 10,000 candidates, and approximately 60% of them are freshers. So there was a discussion about the change of attitude. Definitely, that is visible. We cannot say that, okay, it is mostly the mistake from the student side or from the teacher side. See, it's a mistake or it's a part of the common, public or generally. We have molded these people to this level. So the general public can't, take a different responsibility by saying like, okay, it is the responsibility of the industry, to mold them to as better employees or with good people, or there is a part everybody has to play. So that is what I wanted to say. So, but please, be positive and let's see what best we can do.
Thank you. Thank you. We'll listen to Dr. Ananthalakshmi, what she has to say from this. Dr. Ananthalakshmi, Dbv-Maestro has brought in all the HR professionals from various platforms, from various international organizations as well. What is your request to the senior HRs actually? Because as I heard the other gentleman making it very clear that we should take equal responsibility onto shaping the individual. What is your request to the HR professionals on behalf of your students? Dr. Ananthalakshmi, are you there? Dr. Ananthalakshmi? Okay. Yes, madam. The point is Dbv-Maestro has brought in all the HR professionals to this platform. And what is your request to the HR professionals in just 1 or 2 sentences?
Okay, whenever there is a placement drive, usually in the day, we get the orientation. The head of the institution gets the orientation in the morning. But what we require is, we want it in the beginning of the year so that we can mold the students. And whenever the placement, for placement, if they send HRs, kindly send these senior persons, because the new HRs, they are not competent enough to identify the potential of the students. And when they are very young, these students also, they are so playful, and the HRs, they don't have a control over the students. So that's what, these are the 2 requests
I understand. Experience, outreach, youth and knowledge, and you want very well experienced people to judge the quality of a student and to see whether they can really befit the job what they are really going in for. I got your point. Thank you so much. My last question of the day. There are so many questions outpoured from the participants, so we would like to move into the questions as quick as possible. So my last question for the day would be to Professor Balachandar. Communication skills are not taken very seriously, and this is affecting the placement of a student. What is your point of view onto this, and what's your point of view? What's your idea of this?
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, you're very audible, sir. Yeah.
Sir, yes, especially you are correct. Actually, the communication is playing a crucial role, because they could clear the aptitude test. 30% of the students, those who are appearing for the campus drive, 30% of them clearing the aptitude test. But afterwards, group discussion and personal interview, they could not clear actually. This is lack of communication only. The communication is different. Communication skill is different from language skill. The language, because 80% of the students are coming from English medium only, but they could not go for the presentation of seminar and other things. The courage is not there. The presentation skill is not there. This is what lacking actually. When we are arranging for any communication classes, they are not ready actually. They are not ready to spend for the classes. They are thinking that we know English. This is what the confidence they are having actually. But in my view, all the college or institution should make the mandatory the communication classes. At the time of admission itself, the money, the fees can be collected, because students should not come forward for these things. If you are making mandatory only, they could go for learning. We make that opportunity. This is what my suggestion.
Okay, thank you. My last question, Mr. Sarat Chandar, what is your advice to the audience? There are so many freshers listening to you. There are so many students listening to you. What is your advice to the audience, Mr. Sarat Chandar?
My advice is adapt to the new normal. We have to accept and adapt the changes. Everybody is facing the challenge. So it's not only you. So even from the HR community, with my panelists, those who holds 20 to 30 years of experience, they never faced this challenge earlier. It's a new to them as well. So everybody is facing the challenge. It's not only you. So, but again, there are a lot of opportunities. Since Mr. Gopal from KSR College told that whenever there is a struggle, the new opportunity arises. So you have to grab that opportunity. One more positive thing is, earlier there is a work location constraint for the people. Nowadays, their work location is going to be their home. Irrespective of whether they are in from the work location is North India or South India or foreign location, they no need to bother for the next 6 months to 1 year, to my knowledge. Again, it's based on the company, so it's a positive sign. So many positive things are there. Be positive, and as told by Mr. Kishore, the campus drives are good. The number of firings are getting better. Even the trend get changed a few years before itself. Even in the pre-COVID, the national hiring by the bulk hiring people. I mean, bulk hiring companies like TCS and Cognizant, they started doing national hiring, and because of it, irrespective of the colleges, if you have knowledge, you will get placed with any of the companies. Earlier, the scenario is these bulk hiring people used to go to some particular college. They are not providing opportunity to the other colleges. Now the trend changed. Again, by sitting in front of the system at home, they are going to apply, and they are going to attend, and they are going to crack the exam, and even they can start their job itself by sitting at the same place in the home. So think it in a positive mode, and so everything will be positive soon.
So that's nice. I think the Dhoni of our team, Mr. Sarath, has finished it off with the final 6 and finished it. Adaptability and everything starts from home. We heard charity begins at home, but Mr. Sarath has put it out. Your employability and your employment also starts from home today, and you should learn to adapt to the changes across. It has been a wonderful discussion, Mr. Sarath, and to the rest of the panelists. We are so happy and glad that the discussion was so effective, and all the participants from on the Zoom would have been benefited. Now we move on to the question round. I request the MC to take over to read the first question. Any panelists can pitch in an answer to the question as well, but make your answers very, very short, because we are already ahead, or rather we have moved ahead of our time by 10 minutes. And there are so many questions, we would like to respond to the questions. And in case if any of your question is not being responded, we will revert back to you in a mail, and we will see that your question is attended even in the form of a mail. May I now request the MC to pose the first question on behalf of the audience as well.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, dear panelist and the moderator. The first question is to the panelists directly. How can we plan training and development for the students, whether it is possible to reach the industry standard? Other than BPO, the demand is very less. How do we support the student community and the society? The question is posed by Mr. Babu, Dr. Babu.
Madam, any one of you, Mrs. Elizabeth, you can answer this, or Any one of the HR professionals can pitch in and answer this question.
Yeah,
The MC, can you read?
Question?
Yes.
Yeah, this is Kishore. Regarding the training program, say, for example, you need to understand especially there should be an industry institute interaction, just like the one that we had now. We should have regular interactions with the industry people to understand what is the need of the hour. Maybe at least for the next 1 to 2 years, what is the whole technical skill that is required, and based on that, probably the institutions can conduct add-on courses. Say for example, we are into SAP domain, try to understand which SAP module or SAP domain is important for the industry for at least for the next 1 to 2 years or maybe 3 years time down the line. So accordingly, the industry can have a constant interaction with the institute as well in parallel, and try to mobilize people based on a particular region or maybe a particular industry or a particular technical session. Based on that, the training can be planned, and it should be focused. It should not be like on the last year or maybe the last sem you should give this add-on course. You can start the course from the very beginning itself, maybe from the 4th semester onwards, so that the students can get equipped with the industry and the technical skill that they are looking for. So that is what I wanted to suggest you in this regard.
Thank you. Thank you. Well answered. Can we have the next question, sir?
Yes, sir. What are the skills and qualities required to be a HR? Posted by Said Ayaz.
Okay, what are the qualities and skills needed to be a good HR?
So welcome to the club, Syed. The quality is you have to initiate. That's the only thing. You have to think from the other point of view. For example, the role of an HR is, by meeting the management, you have to be employee specific and management specific by meeting the employees. So we have to play a crucial role to do favor to both the people. And so for that, we have to do a lot of homework and we have to take a lot of initiative. It might sometimes we used to get the words from both the management as well as from the employees. But at the end of the day, it's going to benefit the organization and the organization's growth. So we have to learn and improve such qualities. We have to take a comparison with the various laws generated in India, which law suits to our company and other things. So this is my angle, and my senior people are there. Saravana Kumar sir, I am expecting the words from your end. I know that
Thank you.
you are living with it for the past 30+ years.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Sarachandar. Can we move into the next question, gentlemen?
Yes, so there's a final question from one of the students. I don't see the name here. Sir, I am a final year BCom student from government college.
Okay.
At this point, should I go for a job or should I continue my higher studies? Which is the best?
Okay, she's doing her final year.
Yes, sir.
She's a final year BCom graduate. That's what she says. Am I right or wrong?
Yes, sir, you're right.
Yeah, she's a final year BCom graduate. Does she need to go in for a job or does she need to go in for higher studies? Yes, the panel, over to you, panel. Anyone, even from the education side or anyone can answer this.
Thank you, Mr. Herman. It's basically 3 factors depending on here whether she should go continue her education or take up the job. First one is her percentile, current percentile. What is her current percentage? Is she eligible to go to the next one? Second one, her family constraints which will force us to get into the job or not. Second one. Third one is like the very important factor is her interest. It's not that we should force her or their decision. What is her interest? Should she, there is a way that she can continue her education while doing her start her career also. Okay, she can do that as well, not just do one thing only.
And I wish to add to Mr. Saravana Kumar, there is a trend which happened for about a decade to my knowledge. If we not properly settled in any job, people used to go for higher studies. So please avoid the trend. It's not a good trend since said by Sarvana Kumar that if you have real passion to learn deep into a particular specification, you go for higher studies, or else the market is very good. If you wish to do for a job, better go for a job. And a lot of online courses are available. You could do part-time or any online mode to live in your passion, and you could balance it both your higher studies and as well as the job. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you. MC, any more further questions from the chat box?
Sir, we are done, sir, from the chat box.
We are done with the chat box. I open questions to the audience. We can admit 2 more questions. In case if you have questions or 2 more questions, you can unmute your mic and speak, pose out your questions to the panelists as well. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I do understand that most of our audience are very clear with what has happened. It has been a wonderful session from all the panelists as well. I'm so happy and glad that the 8 efficient, eminent panelists have really brought out their minds and their expertise and their experience, bringing out the points which is very much beneficial to the students and the audience as well. My special thanks to Mrs. Elizabeth, Mr. Saravana Kumar, Dr. Gopalakrishnan, Dr. Vijay Lakshmi, Mr. Kishore, Mr. Sarat Chandar, Dr. Ananta Lakshmi, and Professor Balachandar. Thank you so much. It has been a great opportunity to discuss and interact and moderate the show with wonderful legends like you. Thank you so much. It has been a great opportunity. Over to the MC for the vote of thanks.
Thank you, dear moderator.
Sir, thank you.
Thank you, dear moderator and the panelists for being the sowers of prophetic hope in helping us prepare youngsters for employment, especially amidst the epidemic chaos. At times, our own light goes out and is rekindled by a spark from another person. Each of us has a cause to think with deep gratitude of those who have lighted the flame within us. May I now invite Ms. Jennifer Chris, training faculty from Don Bosco, Valikati, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Thank you, sir. Good evening to one and all present here. I'm Jennifer Chris, and I would like to thank the management for giving me this opportunity. And I also take privilege to address the vote of thanks on behalf of Don Bosco, Valikati, and Maestro. When we think of Don Bosco, we also think about the youth, education, and games. Reverend Father Andrew Stephen Raj has channeled this perspective to educating the youth with career guidance program, and many of the youngsters have benefited from this institution of Valikati, now placed well in the society, and appreciate the guidance imparted to them. It is indeed a great pleasure, satisfaction to have with us CEO of Maestro Human Resource Private Limited, Mr. Mark Anthony Sequeira, guiding and taking us through the career program, scaling from campus to corporate segment, placing each individual in the right path of employment according to their skill and ability in elevating their lives for a bright future and a contribution to the nation's employment. Don Bosco and Maestro extend their sincere thanks to the invitees, Mrs. Elizabeth Johnson, Dr. R. Gopalakrishnan, Mr. P. Saravanan Kumar, Dr. Ananta Lakshmi, Mr. Sarat Chandar, Professor Balachandar, Mr. Kishore, Dr. Vijay Lakshman, and Professor Herman Cardas for being present and contributing to this wonderful programs. Please do join us in programs that are to come in the future. I take this moment to thank the organized councils, Mrs. D. Kalavani, Principal, BMC College, Dr. Ishwari Mani, Associate Secretary, BMC College, Dr. Gopi, Vice Principal, JHA Agarsan College, Mrs. R. Subita Rani, Assistant Professor, Anai Velankani College of Arts and Science, and Mr. Bapu, Placement in Charge, JHA Agarsan College, for joining this event. Thank you for your presence here, dear sir and madam. Special thanks goes to the event manager, Mr. Nirmal, for having taken this program to the next level of confidence and hope. We also extend our thanks to Mr. Arul Raj for anchoring the career guidance program. Thanks to Mr. Jayasilan for the wonderful welcome, to Mr. Princeton for the keynote presentation, and Mrs. Jennifer for introducing the panelists. I wish to conclude this vote of thanks by applauding the management team of Don Bosco Valikati and Mrs. Sindhu for coordinating the event. and wish that we have many more such programs to enhance the career development for the needy. Last but not the least, thanks to all students for participating in this event and making it a grand success. Thank you. Wishing you all a pleasant evening.
Thank you, ma'am, for your words of gratitude. Every sunset brings the promise of a new dawn. Thank you, one and all, for sparing your valuable time. And that's the end of the event. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot for organizing such a wonderful program.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
It was
Thank you.
nice to know you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you to everyone.
Thanks,
you.
Herman, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All of you were
Thank you,
amazing.
Gopal
All of you
Krishnan.
were amazing. Very, very useful. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you to everyone, sir and madam.
Thank you.